evening with our very first annual Best Talks Around, formerly known as Greenable Woodbridge Visioning. We have a very exciting and special new format for this program. We have speakers who are leaders and experts in their fields, and they're going to speak for 5 minutes each, and their mission is to inspire you, intrigue you, and inform you. But most important, it is to move you to action, to do something to help us make a change in this world and make it a better place. So at the end of this, nobody can leave except for Marta, who's got to go to a party. At the end of this, everybody's going to sit around and we're going to talk about what we heard, what we learned, and what we want our vision to be for the future and what actions we want to take. So we're going to start off with Dennis Henry, who is the Director of Public Works, and he is the man behind recycling. He started recycling in Woodbridge before anybody was even talking about it. So here to get us to all to recycle properly is Dennis Henry.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to talk to you about the new norm in world recycling. China, who is the biggest importer of our recycling throughout the country, has now closed their doors to recycling because of the garbage that was brought to them. It started out as recycling. I'll get there and tell you how we got there, how we started, and how we got to where we are today. With China being the biggest importer and now refusing the garbage, our plan is to change our mindset and to get our residents to do the same in what we have to do. And part of it's going to be going back to where we started. When we first started recycling, it was very simple. It was cans, bottles, aluminum, and paper and cardboard. And that was it. But when China came in onto the picture, and I think it was 2000, they opened up the market. They started buying recyclables, paying large amount of money for them. When Woodbridge in 1987, New Jersey was the first state to implement the law that residents had to separate recycling from their garbage. Woodbridge, as always, we jumped in both feet. We went out and bought our own MRF, which is a material recovery facility. We started doing our own, marketing our own. One story that we had there, we used prisoners from the Department of Corrections out of Secaucus, who were guys with short-term, the guys you see cutting grass and doing different things. They did our separation on our machine. Well, one of the adjustments we had to make was when people throw out bottles of wine, sometimes they don't finish them. Well, our first reuse program in Woodbridge was a prisoner. And it didn't go well for him, and we had to monitor a little better what we were doing there. But what happened with China coming on in 2000 and putting that much money into the market, MRFs built up all through, private MRFs. They came everywhere. They started building. They started telling everybody that they would take the recycling for more and more money. It became to a point where it wasn't worth Woodbridge having our own MRF anymore. It was cheaper for us to just take it and give it to the MRFs, who in exchange, they would recycle it, separate it, and then they would send it overseas. Well, it got so competitive and China continued to pay so much money for the product that they stopped separating. They left the garbage in with the recyclable. And now our goal at that time was more tonnage is better. The state came in and said we went from 10% to 60% recycling requirements. So everybody wanted to get more and more recycling. They started to allow us to use aluminum trays, rigid plastics, things that we were never able to recycle before. What this did was it caused confusion with the residents. What they started doing was throwing garden hoses in there, throwing chairs in there, throwing different things that, electrical cords. They threw everything in there. Plastic bags is the biggest nightmare. that they started throwing in. But our recycling and everybody else's recycling, ours went from 8,000 tons a year to 12,000 tons a year. So everybody was, you know, we were living good. We were getting top dollar for our recycling. Everything was working great. And then in 2008, a European TV crew went to China and embarrassed them on the amount of garbage that they were accepting from the United States and from Europe. China then came out with, I think it was called the Green Fence. They started to regulate recycling a little more. And that didn't do good enough, so they advanced it a little bit. They called it the sword, where they started to cut down on the recycling that we were bringing in. Then you started to see the recycling companies start to go away, and there's only the big ones that stayed. Well, now they've cut us off. They've cut off the whole world, and we're looking at probably 34 million tons of recycling that used to go to China or other Asian countries, Vietnam, India, now that are not taking that. So we have to change the way we do things. We have to figure out how we can get back to where we were. The cost of recycling now is almost equal to the cost of garbage. But, you know, and a lot of towns and a lot of people in different states are just throwing the recycling into the garbage. So where we were years ago with recycling in the garbage, we're going back there. Woodbridge has chosen to try to go the other way. We're going to clean up our product. We're going to teach our residents that the cleaner that the product is, the less it'll cost us. And the reason for this is we're negotiating right now with a MRF to take our recycling. And instead of paying a flat rate for all our loads, this company looks like what they're willing to do is to pay us, the cleaner the load, the less we pay. So this will be pure recycling. And we can get back to that by training the residents and working together. And at the same time, the residents, they'll be a partner in holding down our cost and stabilizing the tax and the increased cost is going to be for recycling until we figure this out. The United States has to turn around. We have to figure out how we can use it more in our United States instead of shipping it out and depending on other countries. Because when China shut this down, they warned us. They warned Europe and they warned the United States. But there was so much money being made that we didn't listen. And we continued to send the garbage to them. And this is the result of that. So now we all have to buckle down and learn to recycle. And in the time that I just talked, this is going to part from my recycling coordinator because she's going to love that I said this. There's probably been 2 million plastic bottles that have been disposed of. And the problem with the plastic bottles nowadays is the companies make them so cheap, they're not recyclable. So 2 out of 3 of those bottles are going to end up in the ocean or in the bays. If you drive a boat around New Jersey or anywhere, after a moon high tide, you see the debris, the recycling that comes in through the sewer systems, through the bays, that's out there. And she was correct when she talked about the fish. It's killing the fish. There's people that have gone around the world on boats. They used to see a lot of fish in the ocean. Now they see plastic. So it's something we have to do. It seems like it's so small that we can't make a difference. But if we don't start here, then everybody's going to go in the wrong direction. So Woodbridge is going to step up. We're going to do reuse at our community, at our convenience center, and we're going to change the way we collect garbage and recycling. We're going to monitor the recycling when it comes in now. We're going to start with our truck drivers. They have cameras in their trucks, in their hopper areas. They're going to check their loads coming in. They're going to report it to our inspectors. They're going to tell our inspectors are going to come out and try to educate the residents. If you're a repeat offender, we're going to be progressive with it. We have inspectors that will go out and look at the recycling. So to save money and to be wise with our recycling and our tax dollars, these are some of the things we have to do. Thank you.
I always say everybody can make a difference. But this is in our own home, how we can all make a difference. And it's a new way of looking at recycling, and we will really have to pay a lot more attention. So thank you, Dennis. Our final speaker is Adam Zellner, who is the president of Greener by Design. And he actually did one of these talks they're called TED Talks. He did it professionally and gave us the idea to do our own version of, we can't actually do TED Talks, but our own version of that type of thing. And Adam has come to us with so many new and what to me was almost unthinkable and inconceivable ideas of how to manage energy. So here to make you think about things you never thought about before is Adam Zellner.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you, guys. I'm here to talk about the most exciting topic you could ever imagine, your wastewater system, and your toilets, and your electric system, and your roads. That's right, infrastructure. For those of you who have ever lived through like a hurricane, like Sandy, floods, storms, power outages, let's see, traffic jams, any of the things that have tested your patience when it comes to infrastructure, you get an idea of just how reliant we are on this infrastructure. But it's more than that, right? You can't even walk into a bathroom today and put your hands under a sink without an electric eye actually turning on the water. And why do I say that? Because I want to take you on just a quick trip tonight, right? Something I'm going to call a Woodbridge time machine. For anybody who hasn't seen Hot Tub Time Machine, fantastic movie. I'll take you on a Woodbridge time machine tonight. So as part of that Woodbridge time machine, I want you to think about a couple things, right? I want you to think about your morning this morning when you got out of bed in the first hour of your existence this morning. How many times did you touch infrastructure? Alarm clock may have gone off, right? Electricity may have woken you up. You may have gone in, taken a shower, used some hot water, so gas infrastructure, water infrastructure. Maybe you brushed your teeth, I hope. Maybe you went to the bathroom, you used a different type of water infrastructure. Let's hope they're separated, right? You went downstairs, maybe had breakfast, turned on the gas, right? Gas infrastructure. Maybe you got out to your car, you started it, used the road infrastructure, you backed out, you moved past street lights and traffic lights and sewers, and all this unbelievable infrastructure. It's 1 hour into your day. And if you thought about that infrastructure being gone tomorrow, how would that hour unfold? And so let me just give you a quick little history of our 8,000 years of history, pyramids and all those fun things. I'm going to take you on a quick time machine. I'm only going to go back just a little while to show you just how reliant, just how addicted we are to this infrastructure, right? So let's turn back the clock, right? It's 1658. Congratulations. We're not quite there. We're not quite chartered. But we have infrastructure. We do. We have a path. There is paths that lead to waterways, and these paths actually have commerce. People are trading back and forth. They're hunting, so they get food. It's not quite as good as the restaurants we have today, but they're literally doing this on a path. But that's it. That's the total infrastructure, right? We're going to fast forward another 100 years, right? It's now 1758, right? Some things have changed. The path has maybe become a slightly wider dirt road, right? And the beginnings of what will be St. George and other things are beginning to take shape. You wouldn't recognize them then, but they're there. And the path has a couple houses on it. They don't have plumbing. There's something called an outhouse. If you know what that is, it's not pleasant. And so you have no plumbing yet in these houses. And you have the beginning of 1G, right? You all have your phones or 4G. We have 1G. Why? There's a printing press here. And the beginning of people moving information along the road is beginning to happen. People don't realize, but that's the start of mass communication, right? It's going to lead somewhere. Fast forward in the time machine, hold on, right? We're now going to be in 1858, right? In 1858, things have changed. The road now is a dirt road. It's widened up. Woodbridge has grown up. People have stolen some land. They call it Edison. They call it Rahway. They call it Union County. It's been separated out. But the infrastructure now has horse and carriage. We have the beginning of mass transportation. That's right. You can get 5 people in a carriage and move them on a horse, right? But when you think about it, we're still in the outhouse. We have maybe commerce now. We have restaurants. We have a bar. We have a few things that you can see in the downtown. But that's our reliance on the infrastructure. Hold on. We're going to jump again, right? Now it's 1958. Holy cow. The roads turned into highways, super highways. They connect now cars, which we didn't have, to airplanes, which we didn't have. There are gas stations. There are lights. Your house now has plumbing, electricity. It has all the beginnings of the reliance. Hold on, fast forward one more time. Let's get to today and wake up this morning. And when we go to bed in a few hours, Woodbridge will have consumed 10 million gallons of potable water. 10 million in one day. we will have used about 7 million gallons of wastewater that will have to be treated, right, in one day. We will have used hundreds of megawatts of power, which if you add that up over a year, it's its own nuclear plant. We didn't even have this 200 years ago. Fast forward, it's 2058. I dare say that we're probably more addicted to our infrastructure than ever before. We have 10G maybe. We have cars that maybe drive themselves. We have a whole bunch of this technology that's all riding on an infrastructure that we know so little about because it just arrived. It only got here a few hundred years ago. And so back up to today, what I'd leave you with is the following. The infrastructure is fragile. Woodbridge is investing some incredible time and effort in what I think is an incredibly sexy topic, infrastructure. But when you think about it, when you go home and your family, your friends, people in hospitals, people doing unbelievable, wonderful things in the STEM world, computers, think about the infrastructure that's around you that allows you to live this way. Get involved, help make it a better future, and help invest in that infrastructure because the next generation's going to need it a lot more than the last one did. Thank you. Very much appreciate your time.
Another important part of sustainability is a good, strong economy, especially a local economy. We are very fortunate here in Woodbridge to have a cheerleader for our local economy, someone who is so passionate about it that her enthusiasm is contagious. And that person is First Ward Councilwoman Nancy Drum. So Nancy, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. I am passionate, very passionate about our local economy and greenability and sustainability, and I think I caught that from our Chief of Staff, Carolyn Ehrlich, who is extremely passionate about it. So I found a great friend here at the town when I joined the council, and she immediately chose me to be the buy local advocate for sustainability, greenability, and our local economy. Our township is very passionate about it overall. I spearhead a local, buy local committee, and we've come up with many, many, many initiatives from that committee, as well as the township, always providing on an annual basis opportunities for our local businesses to come out and strut their stuff. We have a lot of street fairs, we have a lot of downtown activity that encourages our local businesses to come out and to show off what they do, strut their stuff, and a lot of our residents welcoming to come there to purchase, shop, buy food, or anything that they want into our local business. Woodbridge Township is a large township. We do have some really neat organizations that have formed throughout the years. Colonia Business Community is a group of businesses in Colonia and Woodbridge Township that do many, many activities throughout the year to encourage residents to come out and to support and advocate and buy their wares and their shopping in the Colonia Business Center. We also have the Ford's Business Community, which is an organization that stemmed out of the Buy Local Committee, and that is doing marvelous things and bringing opportunities to those local businesses in Ford's downtown for opportunities for advocating for their businesses. And then, of course, in Woodbridge proper, Woodbridge downtown, we have car cruises and street fairs. And the other thing that I love about what I do, and I'm so passionate about it, is because I work at the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce advocates for all of the businesses locally. So I have a lot of opportunities to engage every single day with businesses. We have our summer concert series that provides opportunities for our local vendors to come out and to put their businesses out at the Wednesday farmers market. So food is important too. We're getting our farmers market food from our local farmer. We're healthy in purchasing the produce every Wednesday, and then we have our local vendors opportunities there for people while they go to the concert. Prior to the concert is the farmers market. Concert starts at 7:30, and we listen to some great music. We also have local bands that play their music in our Parker Press parks. And there's so many opportunities here in Woodbridge Township. We incorporate our schools, our high school students, our green ambassadors, and they go out to our local businesses and they have a sheet of many different options for them to be greenable. Most of them are green, but there are 3 levels: green, greener, and greenest. So we're always suggesting to our businesses to be a sustainability and as green as they can be in our township. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of people that are very involved. I would encourage all of our local businesses to get involved with the community. The more that you're involved with the community, the more that people know about you. I have friends that have businesses. There's families in Woodbridge Township that have businesses here for years and years and years. And it's a true testament to what Woodbridge Township is all about and how we advocate and how we encourage our community to stay strong by supporting each other. The earrings that I have on were made by a local woman here in town that goes and puts her jewelry out that she makes at the Barron Arts Festival, which is an annual event. The necklace that I have on was purchased as a gift from my daughter from a local vendor where she lives. As much as we put it out there and make our residents aware, it will always be there. We just, an initiative that came out of our Buy Local subcommittee is I Took the Pledge, which was an initiative that we rolled out at the summer kickoff for the upcoming holiday season, which is when people are out shopping for holiday gifts. And it was so cool because they took the pledge. The bags that we had made up were canvas bags, of course, shopping bags that had I Took the Pledge on there. And on the other side of the bag, there was our Woodbridge app, which is something fabulous that has happened over the last few years. We have an app, and the app is free and it's accessible to everyone in our community, inside and outside our community, and it's a business directory of all of the businesses that we have here. We have so much as far as technology goes. Our website is up to date. It's wonderful. So much can be accomplished just by using the resources that we have in our township to stay green and to sustain for sustainability. Thank you very much.
Greenable Woodbridge is not just concerned about a healthy planet. We are also very concerned about healthy people. And fortunately for us, we have had a champion in health with Councilman Greg Ficarra, who's the chairman of the Mayor's Wellness Committee, and keeps us all moving closer and closer to being as healthy as we possibly can. So, Greg?
So a number of years ago, then Mayor Frank Pelsman signed Woodbridge Township up for a state initiative called the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. Mayor McCormick took that vision and put it into action. And today we have Mayor McCormick's Wellness Committee with the sole purpose of making people aware and creating opportunities for healthy lifestyles in Woodbridge. Let's just take a look at the background of wellness and the background of how it relates to Greenable Woodbridge. We know that wellness is not a quick fix. It is a lifestyle. We also know similarly that being environmentally conscious is not a one-time thing. It's a sustained commitment. And we can completely control our environment, but we can do little things to add up to a Greenable Woodbridge. Similarly, again, as far as our health is concerned, there are little things that we can do to add to that. Let's take a look at some examples. Myself and other folks that study exercise used to believe that if you didn't do 20 to 30 minutes of exercise consistently at 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate, there were no health benefits. But now we realize that that's not true. Every little thing that you do, every little exercise you do adds up to good health. Whether you walk up the stairs instead of taking the elevator, whether you park a little bit further away at the mall, whether you walk to somebody's office rather than emailing them or calling them. And if you look on the environmental side, our township does a great job with ordinances about no smoking in public places like parks or even in the building that we're in right now. We do a great job with our recycling, and we do a wonderful job with renewable energy in most of our businesses. But we, as individuals, Woodbridge Township citizens, need to do our part. And remember, little things add up to big accomplishments. Shutting off the water while we're brushing our teeth or washing the dishes. Shutting off the lights when we're not in that room. Using efficient thermostats to control the temperature in our house. And even maintaining our property and keeping our neighborhoods clean all add up to a Greenable Woodbridge. So you could see both sides of the coin. Now let's try to tie this together. Let's try to relate this together. Let's take something simple, like leaving your car in the driveway a little bit more. Let's think, can we walk or bike to town hall? Can we walk or bike to the post office or Quick Check or want a smoothie? And if we do walk or ride our bike, how is that affecting the environment? Well, let's think about it. We're not purchasing as much gas, so that's good for the environment. It's good for our pocket. We're not adding pollutants to the air. That's certainly good for the environment. And we're certainly helping to cut back on traffic and congestion in town. All positive things for our environment. At the same time, that same activity of walking or biking is affecting our health. And if it affects our health, it may lead to avoiding sickness or illness. You are being proactive rather than reactive. And by doing this, adding these two things together, it can become our legacy, our town legacy, to be greenable and healthier and improve the quality of life. So in closing, what I want you to do is just be aware. Be aware of opportunities to do healthy and greenable things in your daily life. I want you to close your eyes and think about the last few days and what opportunities did you miss to do something healthy or greenable. But more importantly, I want you to open your eyes and look forward to opportunities that you may have. Every little one counts. Little things lead up to big things. And to quote a funny line in the movie Waterboy with Adam Sandler, you can do it. Thank you.
We have with us Michael Isolda, our Director of Information Systems, who's going to explain to us how technology has made us more sustainable. Mike?
My name is Michael Isolda, and I'm the Information Technology Director for Woodbridge Township, Municipal Government, School District, and Police Department. We have a large network of over 30,000 computers, but it didn't always start out that way. And during that time frame, we have been able to become a green, sustainable data center at our municipal complex at Town Hall. So we initially started with 70 servers, and we're able to now virtualize into 6 servers, which now means in all of our locations, we're able to save electric, energy, resources, money, and it's just been an incredible feat. But besides that, technology isn't the sexiest thing out with tubes and wires and networks and wireless and access points. We're actually providing a better quality of service for our residents and for our 14,000 students within the community and 100,000 plus residents. So we're very excited about how we've grown to be sustainable and our carbon footprint and the things that we're doing as sustainable champions. And I've been lucky to have a boss for 30 years, Mayor McCormick, who has guided us through a shared service program that saves tax dollars, but also we don't have duplication of systems between the town, school, and police. We have an interlocal shared service that in itself is sustainability, and it's going on its 20th year. So we're very proud of that, and it continues to grow as we add on different buildings with recreation life, through public safety, through our health and human services, and many of our public works initiatives. But most importantly, our 911 police public safety initiatives with our radio communications, all that ties together in one shared data center, and we are very proud and look forward to continued growth. And that's really why people consider Woodbridge the best town around, as the mayor says. So 10 towns, 1 community, 1 data center, sustainability, greenability, Greenable Woodbridge, which we worked with Carol to create that name many years ago. So we're very excited to how we connect technology with quality of life in Woodbridge and what we do every day to make Woodbridge the best town around.